of what's happening with the weather, the South African Weather Services has issued an orange level 5 warning for severe thunderstorms in southern Gauteng today. We speak now to the South African Weather Services forecaster, Lehlohonolo Thobela, in terms of exactly what this means. Lehlohonolo, good morning to you. A level 5 means what?
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Level 5 means the impact of the severe thunderstorm bringing in showers and thundershowers will be very significant, and it has a likelihood of being a medium for it to happen. So it's quite interesting that we're having such showers and rain, yes, but it's also devastating for communities. I mean, people in Gauteng have seen what has happened in the southern parts and the central parts of Gauteng from the past days.
When you say it's interesting that we're having these storms, what does that mean? What's of
interest? Actually means, in terms of how frequent they're happening, it comes back to saying, with all the forecast that has been issued in May, saying we are in a La Nina season, also pushing that we want to have above normal rainfall, the interest comes in of saying it's actually happening all as to what the forecast was.
And then a yellow level 2 warning is issued for severe thunderstorms with possible strong damaging winds as well.
Yes, and the level 2 is mainly saying the impact might be minor, but the likelihood of the actual warning happening is high. So that's what results in. So the levels, they differ in the terms of impact, in the sense that we'll have minimal up until severe. So the movement will be minimum, minor, significant, and severe. So as the levels go higher and higher, it's all a matter of the impact and the severity of the impact, as well as the likelihood of it happening.
When we say in the south of Gauteng, which areas specifically do people need to be aware of, especially given that some people, for instance, in Soweto and Roodepoort have barely recovered, and already we have this warning of severe thunderstorms?
The severe thunderstorms are mainly over. I mean, as we speak right now, we are in a 60% chance of showers and thundershowers, the whole of Gauteng. But the southern part seems to be in an 80% chance, which is a widespread of showers and thundershowers expected. Southern parts would include south of Johannesburg, Vereeniging, Meyerton, areas around Soweto. Every area that is mostly over in the southern areas, moving over to Protea side. So it's all the areas around Gauteng which fall under the southern parts, which are experiencing a lot of showers and thundershowers, which then, considering what the level of precipitation that has happened in the past days, any amount of rain that keeps going and going just seems to increase the impact, and as well as what people are experiencing as terms of devastation, as what the hazards are.
Speaking of hazards, what would the impact, or will the impact of this rain be?
The main thing is flooding, especially for areas that are built around the floodplain and areas closer to river streams, so where water flows towards to the area. And some areas, I mean, are too flat and are within the floodplain, which means the water doesn't move. And with the water not moving, the areas become waterlogged, and then it keeps on having floods, which in some water depth then increases, and resulting in what the conditions have been seen over Protea and areas of in Soweto.
You've also given some advice online, at least in terms of what people need to do, so some tips to stay safe, or as safe as possible.
I mean, if you're driving and you're driving with conditions, the main thing to do is to keep within a safe distance, drive with a speed that allows you to stop if you're the time, and if it's raining, it's good to keep your headlights on as a driver. As well as if you're in the area and you don't have to go anywhere, the best option is to stay indoors.
Lehlohonolo, thank you very much for availing yourself with the South African Weather Services.